After airing for over 10 years, Attack on Titan has finally come to an end with one of the most nerve-wracking episodes ever. The series captured the hearts of anime fans around the world with its thought-provoking themes and complex characters. Here are 40 small details you probably missed in Attack on Titan. There's more to Levi's life goals than just slaying titans. At one point, he apparently wanted to open a tea shop. While that's extremely different from what he does in the series, it's actually not that hard to imagine. What kind of tea do you think he'd serve? While the literal translation of the name Mikasa is 3 bamboo hats, there's also another meaning behind her name. Mikasa is a famous Japanese battleship built in the late 1890s. According to Isayama, he chose this name for the character due to his belief that a series will become successful if you name the female characters after famous warships. I don't know where he got this idea, but I think we all agree Mikasa's name fits her character very well. Speaking of Mikasa, her character design has received a lot of praise from the anime community. But where did Isayama come up with it? In the Attack on Titan character encyclopedia, he revealed that he was inspired by a woman he met while working at a part-time job before he became a manga artist. He modeled Mikasa's scarf, hairstyle, eyes, and eyebrows on that woman. Also, this woman is the reason Mikasa is partially Asian, unlike the rest of the cast. Erwin Smith is a complex and fascinating character, but he wasn't always that way in Isayama's mind. In the character encyclopedia, Isayama explained that Erwin's character wasn't really clear to him until he wrote Erwin's reaction to learning that Titans are transformed humans. After that, he had a much better sense of his character. One of Erwin's distinguishable characteristics is his thick eyebrows. Isayama once revealed that Erwin's childhood nickname was Eyebrow. It's not a flattering nickname to have, but at least his subordinates never called him by his nickname. It would have been hilarious to see Levi calling him that, because as you know, he loves nicknames. And here is a strange fact about Erwin's successor. Isayama said he chose the name Armin Arlert because it sounded like the English word aluminum, and also because having 2 names that started with the same letter was easy to remember. I'm not sure why the word aluminum was so compelling. Eren's physique when he transforms into his Titan form is loosely based on that of Yushin Okami, a Japanese martial artist. In an interview, Isayama said that Okami had the ideal physique of a middleweight mixed martial artist. That's why he chose his physique for Eren's Titan. In another interview, he said that the Titan southpaw fighting style was inspired by that of another martial artist, Takanori Gomi. Did you know Isayama originally planned for Eren to know about his Titan shifting ability from the beginning? But this idea was scrapped ultimately. This was revealed in an interview by Isayama's editor, Shintaro Kawakubo, in 2013. Another interesting thing that was revealed in the same interview was that Isayama originally intended to kill Sasha in chapter 36 of the manga. However, he was persuaded to change his mind by his editor, who apparently went to the bathroom and cried when presented with the ending. I think we all owe Kawakubo-sensei for that. Speaking of Sasha, the Attack on Titan character encyclopedia reveals that she was named after Sacha Baron Cohen, a comedy actor who is best known for his starring role in the Borat films. Apparently, Isayama chose this because he wanted to emphasize her role as a comic relief character. Before officially introducing Pieck in the manga, Isayama considered making the Cart Titan inheritor a middle-aged man. There was even a working name for him, Oliver Pieck. He later scrapped the idea and decided to design the character as a young woman. I think we are all happy with this change. It's probably obvious to most fans that Kenny Ackerman was at least loosely based on famous serial killer Jack the Ripper, but he was also inspired by a fictional character from an unusual source. Isayama has stated that Kenny's character was partially inspired by the character Trevor Phillips from Grand Theft Auto 5. I think the resemblance is pretty clear. Here's another example of Isayama taking inspiration from unexpected places. Apparently, Annie's hairstyle is based on a photograph of Canadian musician Avril Lavigne that was taken by the paparazzi. Our next fact might be one of the funniest facts of Attack on Titan. One of Hanji's many eccentricities is that she doesn't bathe as much as she should, or at least, she doesn't bathe as often as Levi thinks she should. Levi has been known to knock her out and physically force her to bathe. As one of the earliest character deaths in the series, fans never got to see Marco as an adult. Luckily, Isayama gave fans a bittersweet present in November 2020 by releasing a sketch of what Marco would look like if he lived past the time skip. He kinda looks like Porco with freckles. Isayama has created a lot of characters for Attack on Titan, but have you ever wondered who is his favorite character? Originally, his favorite character was John, but since developing Reiner further, the Titan shifter has taken John's place. Some even call Reiner Isayama's son because how the hell did that guy survive until the very end? Levi suffers from insomnia and only sleeps about 2 or 3 hours a night as a result. It's unclear whether this is because of his intense job, his history of trauma, or just an issue that would happen no matter the circumstances. Either way, it definitely explains why he's so grouchy. Many of you probably don't know this, but there is a Marvel and Attack on Titan crossover comic called Attack on Avengers. In the book, the Titans appear in New York and bring chaos to the city as the Avengers show up to investigate and fight them back. Throughout the post-credit scenes of Attack on Titan's finale, numerous people were shown visiting the graves of Eren and Mikasa. Among those people, an elderly man drew the attention of the audience. Many believe believe it was Armin, because it was shown earlier in the series that Eren, Mikasa, and Armin often raced to the tree on the hill as kids. And during those races, Armin would always be the last one to reach. Drawing a parallel to that, the ending may be implying that Eren and Mikasa passed over to the other side, leaving Armin behind, just as in their childhood. Even in post-credit scenes, you can find beauty in Attack on Titan. Does anybody ship Hange and Kenny Ackerman? Probably not, but a few people might change their minds when they learn that their voice actors, Romi Park and Kazuhiro Yamaji, got married in real life in 2020. The two announced their marriage on Twitter, just after Park's 48th birthday. It's hard to say whether or not their time on set had anything to do with their relationship, but it's fun to imagine that it could have. Did you know Armin and John were meant to be the same character? When Isayama was first designing the characters, he didn't differentiate between them. Not much is known about this character. Would he actually have traits in common with both? In Isayama's blog, he revealed that his inspiration for Falco's character came from Breaking Bad. Specifically, Falco was inspired by Jesse Pinkman. Isayama didn't explain the connection he saw between the two characters, so I guess that's a conclusion for fans to come to. According to Isayama, Erwin stayed single because he didn't know when he'll die. Lucky for Niall, because they were in love with the same woman. Erwin and Niall both fell in love with a woman named Marie when they were in the training corps. Niall chose to join the military police so he could protect Marie, and Erwin decided to continue with his plans to join the survey corps. If I ask you which character relates to Isayama the most, you might think it is Eren, although this might get him in trouble. But anyway, I mean, he is the protagonist, and his hairstyle kinda looks like Isayama's. But according to Isayama himself, Daz is the character who he relates to the most. The reason for this is that he doesn't see himself as special or exceptional, rather he imagines himself fading into the background. Have you ever wondered who would win if the members of the 104th Training Corps had an arm wrestling match? In the character encyclopedia, Isayama revealed that it would be Mikasa. Considering how jacked she is, this isn't surprising at all. While Isayama was designing the characters, he would design human characters first, and then decide on their Titan form after that. Bertholdt is an exception. Isayama designed the colossal Titan first, and then worked backwards to get to Bertholdt. One of the reasons that the Attack on Titan anime finale was better than the manga is that Isayama was able to make an important change to the script. In the manga, Armin thanks Eren for turning into a mass murderer to try and help the people of Paradis Island. Believe it or not, this one line was the reason that many people hated the ending. This sends the message that Eren was a victim who did the right thing, but that wasn't the point Isayama wanted to make, so he changed it in the anime. In the anime version, Armin acts much more shocked and angry at what Eren has done. And while Armin did thank Eren in the anime as well, it wasn't for Eren turning into a mass murderer, but rather for showing him life beyond the walls. He then takes some accountability for the rumbling by telling Eren he was also responsible that the things turned out this way. Arifumi Imai was the animator in charge of the Levi versus Beast Titan fight, among many other scenes. He revealed on Twitter that it took him a full 4 months to animate that one scene. 1 month was spent storyboarding, while the actual animation took 3 months. Considering how gorgeous it is, we're grateful he put in the time, and we also really have to admire his talent. Marco's birthday is on June 16th, which is exactly halfway through the year. This takes a whole new meaning when you find out that half of his body is found when he died. Okay, I admit this is funny, but I feel guilty if I laugh at this. At this point, we should be happy he wasn't born in December. In Isayama's initial rough sketches, Hanji was named Hanako Yamada. Meanwhile, the rough sketches of Mika Zacharias were labeled Taro Yamada. Yamada is an extremely common Japanese surname, so it's possible that this doesn't mean anything. That said, authors usually pick names for a reason. It seems likely that Isayama might have originally intended for the two to be related. Would you have liked to see that happen? If you zoom in on the ending scene of Mikasa's deathbed scene, you can clearly see that there is a silver ring on her left hand. This implies that she actually did marry at some point. In the anime, it wasn't clear who her husband was. However, after seeing this manga panel, many believe that Mikasa ended up with John. It is still not officially confirmed, but if you look at his hair closely, you can definitely see he looks like Jan. Have you ever wondered who has the highest Titan kill count in the 104th Training Corps? While Eren has technically massacred the most Titans out of anyone else, this accomplishment is dampened by the fact that he only killed 1 Titan in his human form. Meanwhile, Mikasa has taken out the most Titans out of anybody in human form. Connie is an interesting character who has added a lot to the Survey Corps, but Isayama didn't exactly have high hopes for him when he was first created. Originally, he was just a filler character, designed to fill out the top 10 graduates of the 104th Training Corps. Even Isayama underrated the poor guy. Falco and Mikasa might not seem like they are connected in any way, but they do share one important trait. They have the same birthday, which is February 10th. One of Levi's most prominent character traits is his need to keep everything clean. While this is often played for laughs, it actually has a tragic origin. Levi grew up in the underground. As a young child, he lived in a filthy brothel with his mom until she passed and was rescued by his uncle Kenny. He associates dirt with his childhood trauma. When asked about the reason behind Levi's need for a spotless environment, retirement, Isayama said, "One day I will draw the backstory. Please stay tuned." And guess what? The backstory he promised to draw is titled Bad Boy, and it will be officially released on April 30th, 2024. According to Levi's expert judgment on the subject, Eren is the squad member with the most formidable cleaning skills. I mean, it's no surprise, right? Levi has plenty of other things to yell at him about. Another interesting fact about Levi is that he doesn't have the time or inclination to have someone else do his hair. Instead, he cuts it himself using clippers. Still, he has one of the best haircuts in the series. If there is one thing Attack on Titan is most famous for, it is the brilliant foreshadowing of the events that happen in the series. In the second ending song of the first season, there is a scene where Mikasa is shown next to a praying mantis. Also in Mikasa's childhood flashback in one of the OVA episodes, we see Mikasa looking at a praying mantis. Many of you may don't know this, but female praying mantises are known for decapitating their male partners. I think the rest speaks for itself. Hajime Isayama is a genius, and I hope we see more of his magic in the future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click here to see my other videos.